Mechi, you have anything to say?
Not so much right now.
So get the microphone first. It's okay for me to call you Mechi?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I make it.
Because some might want to be called Bhikshuni or something.
I'm not Bhikshuni.
Not
I have
Bhikshuni.
8 precepts only.
Okay.
It's just this brown. It's from Myanmar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I have not much question right now, but maybe you can give me some advice. When I walk, there are a lot of dogs, and I can feel attachment to the body when the dog come.
The dogs.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I might have to walk up. So there are some dogs, and I just want to give me some advice how to make my mind calm when they come and bark.
You just have to let it bite you. If it's gonna be your karma to being bitten by the dog, just let it be. Then this is the only way that you can be calm. But the reality, you might not be bitten or you might be bitten. That's not the point. The point is you have to be willing to be bitten.
Okay.
Once you are willing to be bitten, then it doesn't matter whether you are bitten or not. That's the thing that will make your mind calm. You have to be willing to accept your fate. If it's your fate to be bitten by this dog, so be it. Once you do this, then you will be calm forever. If you could not, then the only thing you could do is just recite a mantra and just keep walking and don't pay attention to the barking of the dog. This will also calm your mind.
I think that's a general problem I have, not to accepting. Yeah.
If you can accept things, then your mind will then stop resisting. When your mind stops resisting, then your mind will become calm. See? Right now your mind is agitated because of your resistance to the reality. That's why the Buddha teach us to contemplate all the time. We're gonna get old, get sick and die. Don't resist. When you resist, you will become agitated and stressful. If you accept, then you will not be. So I have to teach your mind to accept. Tell your mind that the one who has to get old, get sick or die is not the mind. The body doesn't care. The body doesn't know when it get old, get sick or die. The mind knows, but the mind doesn't get old, get sick or die. So you have to teach the mind to know its proper place. The mind's proper place is just to know, to acknowledge the reality of the body and let it be.
Can it be that because of the practice that sometimes the mind even rebels more? I have the feeling sometimes like you put a horse in a box and it just starts fighting.
Yes, because the more you try to constrain it, the stronger it will resist, react. That's why you need a stronger mindfulness in order to be able to overcome the mind's resistance. If you could not, then you will eventually give up, because you could not resist the stress that being created by the mind. So when you want to calm and you want to train your mind, tame your mind, you must have strong mindfulness. So you must concentrate on developing mindfulness all the time. That's the only way for you to go forward. If you have no mindfulness, then the resistance of the mind to your taming will be strong, and it will create a lot of stress and tension in the mind, to the point where you can no longer withstand it. Then you just have to give up and let the mind be what it wants to be. If it wants to go and have fun, let it go and have fun. So if you want to tame the mind, you have to be always mindfulness, be always developing mindfulness. Always keep control of your thoughts. Don't let your mind think. So that's the only way.
So you recommend some more also restraint, like ascetic practices, or?
This help, but this is only the what you call the not the core of the practice.
Okay.
The core of the practice is still in the mind itself, and the only thing that can tame your mind is mindfulness. All these practices assist your mind, assist you in the taming of your mind, like keeping the 8 precepts and keeping the austere practices, like eating once a day, eating in a bowl. This help to curb your mind, but still not enough. What you really need is mindfulness.
Yes.
Stop thinking, because if you can stop thinking, then you can stop your desire. And when you can stop your desire, then your mind will become calm and peaceful. Okay.
Have to fight.
So you must be mindful from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep.
Okay.
Stop thinking aimlessly. Think only what you have to think. Otherwise, don't let it think. Use a mantra, use chanting, focus on your action, your body action. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And be alone. Don't socialize with other people, because when you do, you let go of your constraint. You let your mind think, and you start talking, and then your mind starts creating all kinds of desire and cravings. So if you're alone, then it's easier to tame your mind. When you have to interact with other people, then you have to let your mind think. See.
And if I have to interact?
Do it to the minimum. Only the necessary interaction. When it's not necessary to interact, don't interact. Even if you come together and do some work, try not to talk. Everybody concentrate on what they do.
Question from Karina from Germany. Dearท่านอาจารย์ can you please explain what the Buddha teaches about dream which occur while sleeping? How to deal with the attachment towards beautiful dreams I had, or to the nightmares even?
Dreams are created by your karma, your action when you are alive, when you are awake. During your waking hours, you will be doing action or karma. You might do some good karma, and you might do some bad karma. And this karma that you do will be stored in your memory, in your mind. When you go to sleep, then this memory will then arise in the form of dreams. If you have good dream, it's because your good karma make it to be good dreams. And bad dream is the result of your bad karma. When you sleep, you cannot control your dreams. You know. They just because you had no mindfulness when you sleep. So then your mind use the memory that it has to create dreams to entertain itself. But sometimes it had entertained itself with bad dreams because it could only think about bad things that it did in the past. But if you had a lot of good deeds, you did a lot of good karma. When you sleep, then you have good memories of good things. Then your mind will then generate good dreams from these good memories. You cannot control them. It depends. You can control them by trying to, if you want good dreams, then you try to do a lot of good karma when you're awake, and abstaining from doing bad karma. Then when you sleep, then you will always have good dreams. See? The Buddha said people who do good karma, people who practice metta, will have good dreams when they go to sleep. You know. And this good dream is what becomes heaven when you die. See? When you die, you're actually dreaming when you die, while you wait for a new body to be born. So it's like going to sleep when you die. When you die, you go to sleep, then you will have good dreams and bad dreams. If you have bad dreams because of your bad karma, then you are entering the realms of the the what you call hell or abhaya. If you have good dreams, then you enter the hell in the realm of heaven. So this is what happens after you die. You will be in a dreamlike state until you get a new body. When you get a new body, when you are born, when you enter the earth, the world, when you exit the womb, then you get up, you wake up, you start crying, then you start dreaming, then you start growing up, and then you start creating more karma, good or bad karma. So this is how life goes on from life to life, depending on your good and bad karma. It will never end like this. It will go on like this until you come across the teaching of the Buddha, who said that if you want to stop this cycle of birth, aging, sickness, and death, and dream-like state when you die, then you have to stop your cravings, the three cravings that drive your mind to be reborn again and again. Craving for sensual pleasure, sensual gratification, craving to be, and craving not to be. These are all the cravings that you have to resist, have to get rid of by your practice of meditation, samatha bhavana and vipassana bhavana. If you could do this, then you can eliminate all your cravings from your mind. Then there will be nothing to push your mind to go to look for a new body. Then your mind will be in a dream state that is perfectly calm and peaceful and happy forever. This is the mind of the Buddha and the enlightened ones. They still exist, but they exist in a dream world, in the spiritual world. And they exist with peace and calm because they have eliminated the source of the tension and stress, which are their cravings. And they don't have to go take a new body because there are no craving to have a new body anymore. So this is the teaching of the Buddha.
I have a question to this dreaming. When I dream, sometimes I know I'm dreaming. In the dream, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, because you're not fully sleepy.
Not fully sleep.
You are semi in the state of sleep, so you can remember.
But it's very deep. You cannot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I see.
But so when you get up, when you wake up, you can remember it briefly. Then when the new information start coming in, then this dream will be suppressed or be
okay.
Yeah. And then I think there's another question that the person asked: how do you get rid of your attachment?
Attachment, yes.
You just have to realize this is temporary thing. Things come and go. You cannot control them. If you attach them, you're bound to be sad, because when you have good dreams, you want it to come back, but you cannot control. The only way to have good dreams that you control is to make good karma. But you have to realize that dreams are just an experience that come and go. You cannot keep it forever. Just enjoy it while it lasts. Or if it's a bad dream, then just have to suffer while it lasts. If you don't want to have bad dreams, don't do bad karma. Do only good karma. If you don't want to have any dream at all, then you have to meditate. When you meditate, you stop your thought, you stop your action. Then you won't be doing any action. Then eventually you won't have any dreams, good or bad dreams. Then you become an enlightened person. You become a Buddha or become an Arahant. Okay, some more? Okay.
In the Abhidhamma, they say the last breath, the last thought, is to bring you to the next destination. And maybe you can say something about it. For example, my father was in coma when he passed away. Is there thinking going on? And
you cannot control your last thought. Your last thought is a summation of all your karma that you have done while you're still alive. So whatever that summation is, it's like the sum total of your expenses and your income. Like when you do your tax report, you look at the bottom line and say how much you earn, whether it's surplus or whether it is whether you win, you gain or you lose. You spend more than you earn or you earn more than you spend. That's the sum total of your income, your financial status. Your mental status is the sum total of your good and bad karma.
Because
So you cannot just say my last thought I can make it nibbana. It cannot see.
Because I know also practitioners, they're also very scared of the last thought. They say, oh, my last thought, and then I end in hell or something. They're really paranoid about it when I talk to them.
Yeah. If you all your life never do any bad karma, your last thought will not be bad. It will always be good. Yeah.
When my father passed away, he did good and bad, the usual. And before he passed away, he had, like in Upachara Samadhi, he had this vision of, for example, driving with a train, and the train has an accident, and then a lot of dead bodies. So he had a lot of terrible visions, and he was very scared of it. And but when he passed away, I don't know what happened. I mean, I think he looked relaxed. The body looked very 3 weeks later very blissful.
Yes, no one can tell. It's only the person himself who will know what happened in his last breath. So you only know your own last breath, or unless you are Buddha, who can trace the path of that person's activity, mental activity. So don't worry about this. Just understand, if you want your last breath to be good, just keep doing good karma.
Thank you. I will pass that also on to others. Yeah.
You know the Angulimala, he did a lot of bad karma, but during his final years, he practiced Dhamma until he became enlightened. So his last thought was Nibbana, because he had attained Nibbana. So even all the bad karma that he did could not overcome the strength of the good karma of Nibbana. So you still have time. If you did a lot of bad karma now, you can start doing good karma. Especially if you can meditate and get rid of all your defilements. Then you have the strongest good karma to overcome all your bad karma. See, once you become a Sotapanna, the strength of this good karma can overcome all the bad karma. A Sotapanna will never go to hell, will not go to become an animal anymore. So you still have time. And the Buddha said if you practice following the four foundation of mindfulness, you can do it in 7 days. Just keep concentrating, stopping your thought. Don't think about anything. Stop your thought, stop your desire. Then you can become enlightened within 7 days. It's very easy. Without a Buddha, we'll never know this. But even if we know it, we're just too lazy to do it, that's all. Nothing prevents us from becoming enlightened. Because we now know the path, we know the way to do it. The only thing that prevents us is our laziness. We just don't want to practice that hard. We still want to take it easy, we still want to have a cup of coffee here and there, still want to have a piece of cake. So you never get there.
Does this prevent us also to become Sotapanna?
Yeah. Yeah. Your desire for food, for anything, means you want to take good care of your body. You want to keep your body strong so you can eat enjoy the food and everything.
คำถามจากต่างประเทศนะครับอาจารย์ Buddha advised to practice wakefulness to reduce sleep but if we don't sleep enough then we feel sleepy and can't meditate well and our health will also be affected in the long run. What do you think, Ajahn?
When you start, you have to do only what you can do. If you need to sleep 8 hours, then you still have to sleep 8 hours. But as you advance in your practice, if you had more wakefulness, then the need to sleep will be less. Then you will know for yourself how much sleep you need. So sleep as much as you need, but not sleep as much as you want. You have to know the separation between need and want. And if you need 8 hours, you sleep 8 hours. But as you progress, as you advance, as you improve on your wakefulness, on mindfulness, you'll find that you will be sleeping less and less. It will be automatic because when you sleep, you will get up earlier than you would expect it to, because your mind is stronger. So this is something you have to gradually develop, not something you read from the book and then you start from 0 to 100 right away. You have to start from 0 and go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and eventually go up to 100. It's like anything, when you learn something new, you cannot do it perfectly, completely. Like running, when you first learning how to run, to jog, you cannot run 10 miles a day, 10 miles right away. You have to start at half a mile, 1 mile, and just keep increasing. So this is the same way with practice. What you read might be the maximum, but when you start, you cannot start at the maximum. You have to start at the minimum, at the point where you can do it, and then try to increase it as you keep on moving forward. If you want to speak, you speak to microphone.
I just want to add, it's very good that you say that, because especially Western people, when they practice, including myself, we really push ourselves and then get stressed and then we get disheartened. And I know many people would try to sit full lotus, but the body is not, and they feel bad if they cannot do it.
That's right. It's all defilement. See, the defilement will try to make you give up by misleading you to think that you have the ability to do the maximum. So when you try the maximum and you couldn't do it, then you say, hell, I better not do it. This is our defilement.
Very wicked. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Because every people have ego, and the ego tells them, you can do it. If the Buddha could do it, I could do it. But you cannot. But you don't look at the status of where you are. That right now you're not on the same level as the Buddha. But you can be there. But you have to. It takes time for you to build it up.
There is a place in Burma where the people will maybe never meditate before. They have to forced in full lotus, and people hold their hand when they scream, and they have to sit for 5 hours, and
usually counterproductive, because the person will eventually give up because it's too hard for them.
Thank you so much.
So you have to do from where you can do as much as you can. And then try to increase your practice to do more and more.
Without feeling guilty, because Western people often feel guilty.
It's like being a child. Before you can run, you have to learn to walk first. Before you can walk, you have to learn to stand first. Before you can stand, you have to learn to crawl first. So this is a process that you have to go through. But nowadays, simply because you could read how to become enlightened. So you expect once you know how to become enlightened, you're gonna do it now and get it down, which is you don't look at your position as your ability, whether can you do it or not. See? So if you try to do something more than you can do, you'll be frustrated, and you'll be disappointed, and then you eventually give up.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you have to pass it back. Go ahead.
Tan Ajahn, yesterday I was inspired when you said we can reach Nibbana and everything was balanced. And then I had to contact an institution for a document, and suddenly everything changed. So it was a negative response. I might have to go back to Germany to sort things out. And I was in turmoil, and I could not make the mind peaceful, and I could see this controlling mind who wants to have a solution and go according to the plan I had, not to go back to Germany. And there was a lot of fear coming up of the unknown, of uncertainty. And it was very difficult for me to get calm. And I tried to do the Bhutto and come on, let go, and you cannot control. But there was this incredible wish to control my life. And I wonder if you have to say something.
Well, you have to look life as like you're traveling on the road. Sometime on the road there might be something happen, an accident. You might have to take a detour. Something happened to the road. The road is being under construction. You cannot drive fast. You have to go slowly. You have to make another detour, go on a different road. So just you have to face the experience, whatever it is at the moment, and don't lose track of your destination, and don't lose track of your work. Just take the incident as just a temporary bump on the road. Okay, you have to go to Germany to fix your document. Just go. You think too much. Because all you have to do is just go fix your document. Then when you finish, then you go on from there. What to do next?
Just step by step.
Just do. If things that you have to do it, you cannot avoid. Then you just do it. It's just your desire. You don't want to do this thing that causes you all the turmoil in your mind.
I mean, I'm scared to have to disrobe and have to give up, and I think I have to clinging to this way. Yeah.
So what? If you have to disrobe, when you're ready, you come back and ordain again.
Okay.
It's not the end of your life, the end of your practice. It's just something that you might have to do to accommodate, to assist your practice. So you have to do it. As long as you still have the goal in your mind and the practice in your mind, and then you would not, you would always come back to it when you can.
Okay.
Right now, just look at it. Maybe it's your old karma come to disturb your path. So you deal with it as best as you can. Don't be emotional. Try to be rational. You're trying to be emotional, and this is just the problem. It's just the emotion in you that's causing you the problem, not the things that you have to do. The thing you have to do is so simple. Just do it, But the emotion, the desire not wanting to do it, and then your defilement start to blame everything, and maybe eventually what your defilement wants you to do is to give up altogether. So it's so difficult, so hard. Why should I practice? I must well go back and live like the way I used to live. So you have to be careful, because your emotion can initiate all these crazy thoughts in you. So try to be calm. Try to think rationally. Just look at the problem and see what you have to do, and do it. Once you done with your problem, then you come back and continue on with your practice. Yeah. Simple.
It's true what you say. It's since I have this on, I have the feeling more obstacles in friendship, in family. I mean, there's all gone.
Yeah.
And also in places to find, it's like more and more I have the feeling obstacles come up. Can it be old karma that I'm not allowed to put on rope? Or?
No. See, right? You're not prohibited from disrobing. You can disrobe and then you can rope again, re-rope again. So for your convenience, for what you have to do, maybe just to go back and put on your old uniform. This is like a uniform, that's all. Put on a wig and be the old you again. And then there will be no problem with other people. See? If you have to deal with other people, you might as well make yourself presentable. Because if you act like a weirdo, they might be suspicious of you and they might cause you problems.
Yeah.
So if you have to deal with people, just go back to your old role, be your old self, Put on a wig, put on a dress, and just, put on some makeups and just, so what? It's just a uniform, it's a play, you have to play a new role. And when you finish with your document, then you can come back and take off your old this uniform and put back your old uniform.
It's not that bad. I mean, I just have to go and pick it up and come back.
Yeah. As long as you still keep your precepts and everything.
Okay.
But you just have to put on a different uniform, put up a new appearance, so that will make it easy for you to deal with people. See, if you put on this kind of uniform, people are gonna be suspicious of you. They want to check your whole body to see if you have a bomb or something or not. They might think you are religious fanatics and so forth. So you have to understand the way the world think of you by your appearance. So you have to accommodate the situation, so to make it less problematic or no problem. Your appearance, can be a problem. They don't understand you. They don't know. They don't know what to think of you. See, so but if you put on your old uniform, put on your wig, put on your makeup, put on your dress, then they say, "Oh, this is the person I know." And just do it. It's just a mission. Just look at it as a mission. And once you finish your mission, then you can come back and continue on with what you have been doing. Okay.
It's hard, but it's in a way I'm
What's so
attached.
If this is hard, then what about practicing? It's a lot more harder.
That's true. Okay.
You give it some thought, and then you'll find it easy to do. If you compare the alternative, if you do it like this and do it like this, which way is better? Then you can see the benefit if you do it like this, and you can see the cost if you do it like this. Then maybe it's better to do it this way because
just adjust.
Okay.
Okay. And with emotion, because I'm emotional, that's true.
It just proves that you are still not capable of controlling your emotion.
That's true.
So it means you have been wasting a lot of time not practicing mindfulness enough. So maybe this is an indicator to remind you that to be more mindful.
Okay. Actually, a good thing.
Yeah. If you know how to look at it.
I look at it in this way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
มีคำถามจากคุณโอลิเวียค่ะ
Bonjour, Olivier from Paris.
Bonjour, Thanajan. Can Thanajan explain the practice of Asupa? For example, I look at my teeth and I know my teeth change, and one day I have to lose Or I know these teeth don't belong to me. Is this correct? Thank you.
No, this is the contemplation on anicca, impermanence. The teeth doesn't last forever. The teeth will eventually has to break up. Asubha is to contemplation on the unwholesome part of the body, the unsavory part of the body, the unattractive part of the body, in order to get rid of your sexual desire. Because your sexual desire arises when you see something beautiful, something handsome. But when you see something ugly, then your sexual desire will be suppressed or driven away. So in order to suppress your sexual desire, you have to look the other side of the body. Don't look on the pretty side, the handsome side. Look at the ugly side. Looking inside, you can see all the organs, the heart, lungs, liver, kidneys, intestines, and you can see all the dirty stuff in the body. So if you see this way, then you can suppress or eliminate your sexual desire. So this is the contemplation of Asubha, to look at the ugly side of the body. Or you can look at the time after the body died. In the old days, they didn't cremate or bury the body. They just wrap the body on with a piece of cloth and then leave it to rot in the jungle, in the cemetery. Monks who want to contemplate on Asubha will go and contemplate and look at the corpses that is being left in the cemetery, and try to remember this picture of corpses, so that every time a monk see a beautiful body, then think of this body that it will eventually turn into a corpse. If you can do this, then you can suppress or eliminate your sexual desire. That's the purpose of the contemplation of Asubha. Right? Okay. If you look at the hair, old age, your fear of death, or your fear of sickness, because you know that this is the nature of the body, that it will happen gradually, slowly, or sometimes suddenly. It depends on the situation. If you want to say, I will have to send you a microphone.
For me, when I imagine there are maggots coming out and eating the flesh away, my mind gets happy and peaceful. Can I do that?
Whichever way that makes your mind calm and not being driven by your sexual desire.
And the other one, for the attachment, the body gets sick, it is the reflection of this anicca of teeth. Or
Yeah, just remind you that your body will be like that one day, sooner or later. So you have to prepare for this happening.
because there is still this fear.
If there's fear, that means you still cling to your body.
Yes.
You still don't see the body as not yourself, not under your control. So you have to think of the body as part of nature.
Like an apple will fall down?
Yeah, like an apple, like a tree falling down.
Okay.
Everything rise and cease. No one can stop this process.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mechi, go ahead.
Ajahn, how can somebody reach a stage of liberation if someone cannot live like a monk in the forest but still must deal with worldly affairs and also sometimes do social work? Or in some monasteries they work a lot and they say you have to look at the citta and they don't practice so much meditation, and I want to know what you think about it.
Well, if you don't practice, you don't get liberated.
But they say the work, you work while you're working, you watch your mind, like Chittanupassana.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
I don't know.
Not enough to get rid of your defilements. The goal is to get rid of your defilements. your greed, your hatred, your delusion.
Yes.
If you can get rid of this, no matter where you are or whatever you do, you can be liberated. But usually, you usually don't get rid of this thing when you do all these activities. The only way to get rid of this defilement is to stop all these activities and go live alone, and then you can then destroy all these defilements in your mind. Once you have destroyed all your defilements, then you can come back and do your charity work again. No problem. The Buddha did 45 years of charity work, but the first 6 years during his practice, he didn't do any charity work. He isolated himself from the world, because this is the easiest way of getting rid of your defilements. If you are associated with the world, then your defilement will be hard to destroy, to get rid of.
And what is the Chittanupassana? Because some teachers say you have to watch the mind while you...
See, this is the practice, the final level of practice. See, the mind is being attached to three things. It's, well, basic, the three principal things that the mind is addicted to or attached to is the body, the feelings, and the emotion. Citta vipassana is to watch the emotion. Vedana nupassana is to watch the feelings. Kaya nupassana is to watch the body. To teach the mind to see that all these three things are impermanent, and they change and they come and go. They are not under your control. You become sad because you want to control them when you cannot. If you don't want to be sad or suffer, then you have to leave them alone. And so the purpose of this watching the mind, the body, the body, the feeling and the mind is to let go of them. Don't try to manage them. We always try to manage these three things in our life every time. We want to keep the body well and strong. We want to have good feelings all the time. We want our mind to be stable, peaceful and happy. But they don't, see. They are they change because of the conditions around them change. So they sometimes are good and sometimes they are bad. But the mind doesn't have to be afflicted by their changing. If the mind understands this is their nature, and just let them be. Once the mind let them be, then the mind is liberated from them. The mind, and we will no longer be affected by whatever happened to the body, the feeling or the emotion.
When I was sitting here, just a little bit of meditation, I could see that suddenly a negative thought arose, and I could see then the guilt not to have it, and there was a resistance to it. So you mean you just step back and don't take it?
Just watch, just be a
watch
watcher.
it.
Leave it alone, like we watch the rain.
Okay.
Can you do anything about the rain? Can you do anything about your feelings, your body? Sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't. When you can, you just have to leave it alone.
Okay. And I have another question. What conditions must be met for someone to reach at least the first stage of liberation, Sotapanna? And how does someone know for sure and not imagine what are the signs?
You have to understand the nature of the body and the feelings. They come and go, they rise and cease. You cannot control them all the time. So when your body is going to die, you just have to let it die. If your body is sick, if you can fix it, fix it. If you cannot fix it, just let it be. Like when the body is painful and there's nothing you can do about it, just live with the pain. Don't try to get rid of the pain by taking painkillers, because you end up get addicted to painkillers and it become more hurtful than helpful. So just leave the body alone, leave the feeling alone, then you can become a Sotapanna. Namely, a Sotapanna isn't afraid of aging, sickness or death. How to prove that you are not, then you have to look for the situation and test yourself. Like you're not affected by the pain of the body, just sit and let the pain in the body arise and cease by itself. And if you want to know whether you are afraid of death or not, you have to go look for a place where you might feel your life is threatened, and then see how you feel. If you feel peaceful and not disturbed, then you're not afraid of death. If you're afraid of death, then you'll be afraid.
So Sotapanna has no fear of death anymore. It's completely
right. No fear of death, no fear of pain, no fear of aging.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Mechi, you have any question? Okay. Yeah.
Ajahn?
Yeah.
I read in one of the books with your speeches that you say separation from body and mind is indicator of Sotapanna.
No, the attachment, the detachment of the mind from the body.
Okay, and you said by mindfulness, jhana, that is just jhana, if somebody sees it, but by wisdom it's magga.
If jhana, you only do it temporarily. With wisdom, you do it permanently.
So this is a permanent state then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's clear. Then the second question I have, in the Abhidhamma, according to the Abhidhamma, Sotapanna has only uprooted 3 fetters and still suffers from anger. And I'm not sure, but fear, isn't it a sort of anger? And they say in the Abhidhamma only an anagami has 100%, is free 100% from fear.
Well, maybe fear or maybe have different sources. So with a Sotapanna, he's not afraid of dying, aging or sickness. But he might be afraid of losing his wife or her husband, because he's still attached to the wife and husband. The Sotapanna still hadn't got rid of his or her sexual desire. So he might fear of losing his or her partner. But the fear of aging, sickness and death of his own body, there's no.
Then is that clear? And one more question. There was a shooting in the US in the school, and there was a worker. When the man came with the gun, the worker protected with his body 17 students, and he got shot. And the student survived because he protected them. So I wonder, what state of mind is that? Could it be that he is a Sotapanna because he had no fear in that moment, I guess?
It depends on the reason why he did it. He might did it because he wanted to protect someone else. And it doesn't mean that he's not afraid of death, but he just wants to protect someone, and he's willing to sacrifice his life. So it doesn't mean he's a Sotapanna in that regard.
But it's a high state, right?
Huh?
It's a high state of mind if somebody does it.
Metta, people have metta and willing to sacrifice themselves for the benefit of other people. Like soldiers who go into war, they're willing to sacrifice their life to save the country. This doesn't mean that they are become a Sotapanna. If they have another choice, they would. If they don't have to do it, they probably won't do it. See.
And shall I read the English question? There is a question from Stephen Morris.
Okay.
And he says, "Hello, Ajahn. Hope you are well. Can you tell me if it is the mind that is the knower, or the chitta, Or is the mind and the citta the same? This is where I'm confused. As I read that the mind is impermanent and the citta is permanent, so are they two different entities? Sadhu.
Well, the citta is translated into the mind. If the citta is the mind, then it is permanent. The mind is permanent. But sometimes the citta refers to the emotions in the mind. These emotions are not permanent. States of mind are not permanent, but the mind itself is permanent. The states of mind change. Sometimes you are happy, sometimes you are sad, sometimes you are up, sometimes you are down, sometimes you worry, sometimes you are agitated, sometimes you are calm. These are all states of mind. Sometimes we use the word citta to refer to as states of mind. See, sometimes refer to the citta as the mind itself. So the citta has two meanings. If it refers to the mind, then the mind is permanent. The mind is indestructible. The mind could not be destroyed. But if you refer the citta to the states of mind that changes, then it's impermanent. It keeps changing. Someday you are happy, someday you are sad, someday you're up, someday you are down. These are all citta, states of mind. So you have to understand what you're talking about when you talk about the cittas. The cittas in the Satipatthana Sutta, this refers to the states of mind. See. You have any question?
Thank you. On the issue of detaching or detachment, in order to try to eliminate negative people from life, from one's life, in order to ease one's suffering.
Yes.
If there is a cause for you to try to hold on to that person because you think you can help them in a particular way, that means there is a conflict, or is there a conflict between the right thing of detaching or holding on for the better good?
I see. Well, in order to deal with people, you first have to see the possibility, whether you can do it or not. If you cannot do something with that person, then it's better just to let that person go. But if you think you still can do something about it and make things better, then you can still do it. But if you try and it doesn't make any difference, and it only hurts yourself, then you better stop. So you have to see the possibility and see the consequence of your action, whether it will cause you stress or cause you happiness. If it causes you happiness, you can continue doing it. But if it start to cause you stress and uneasiness, then it's better just to leave that person alone. Okay.
When they want to learn how to meditate, what's the best way for them to start if they're new and they don't know anything?
Well, you first have to find someone who can teach you. If not, then you have to find a book that teaches you how to meditate. Unfortunately, there are so many different methods of meditation. So it's up to you what kind of meditation you want to study or learn. If you want to study Buddhism meditation, then you will learn how to be, first you have to learn how to be mindful, to control your thought, prevent your thought from thinking by concentrating your mind on one particular object, such as a mantra, Butto, 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 or focus on your body action. Keep watching your body before you come to meditate. You have to develop mindfulness first. because you cannot have mindfulness to control your thought. When you sit and meditate, you cannot stop your mind from thinking. So you must first develop mindfulness to stop you from thinking aimlessly by focusing on a mantra or watching what you do, every movement of your body movement. Then when you have time to meditate, then you will be able to control your thought and focus on your object of meditation, such as your breath. When you sit down, then you just close your eyes and keep watching your breath, either at the tip of your nose or at your chest, where you can feel the breath coming in and out. Just keep watching the breath. Don't control your breath. Don't force your breath. Just watch whether it is short or long, whether it comes in or go out. Just keep watching and don't think about anything. If you can persist doing this and without thinking about anything, your mind will eventually become still and become calm and happy. When you get to that point, then you just let it rest for as long as possible. You have achieved your meditation purpose. The first level of meditation purpose is to calm your mind. If you want to go to another level, then you have to learn how to develop insight, knowledge, the true knowledge of things as they are, not as what we think they are. Right now, what we think of things is not the right knowledge. We think of the body as people, as man and woman, but in reality, the body is just a body. It's made up of the 32 parts, and it's impermanent. It can rise and it will cease. It rises and ceases eventually. So this is what you have to learn to study your body, to know that you are not the body is not you, so that you can disengage yourself from the body and let the body be. If you can let the body be, then whatever happens to your body will not bother you. So this is the next level, to teach your mind to be smart, to know the truth, so that your mind will not be afflicted by the changing of the body. Because you know that this is natural for the body to change, to rise and cease, and that it is not you. You never rise or cease. You are the mind who just happen to possess this body. But due to your ignorance, you think that the body is yourself. So this is what you have to teach your mind, that you are not the body. You are the one who knows, the one who thinks, who uses the body to do whatever you want to do. But eventually your body and your mind will have to separate. If you know that you are not the body and separation is something natural, then you will not be hurt by it. But if you don't, you think you are the body, and if you know that the body is gonna dissolve, gonna die, then you will feel bad because you don't want to die. But if you know that you don't die with the body, then you will not be afraid to die. So this is another level we call vipassana, or knowledge. But first you have to calm your mind first in order to be able to think like this. Normally, if your mind not calm, you will not think that the body is not you. You will keep thinking that the body is you. But when you calm your mind will separate from your body temporarily. Then you can see that there's a separation of mind and body. And then from there you can keep reminding yourself that the body is not you. Okay?
มีคำถามจากอินบ็อกซ์นะคะจากคุณเสี่ยวหัวค่ะ If a lay Buddhist completely cut off interaction with people for 3 months staying in the forest and just simply devote himself to meditation, will he have any side effects in thinking, action or speech when coming back to live and work in our normal layperson's world?
No, if he practice properly, if he has some guidance. But if he practice on his own, he might be delusional and he might react differently. But if you are careful and you use your common sense then you will react normally like you react before. The difference might be in the emotion. You might not react emotionally. If you react, you will react with common sense.